Harmonization is the process when we are given a melody and we need to figure out what chords would go with that melody and how to use those chords in the context of an accompaniment, invent an accompaniment style. So in the harmonization examples that you are given in the handout, you're given numbers 1, 4, and 5, and you need to choose between those numbers, between the chords that represent those numbers. Now, the chords can be different in different keys. Let's say in C major, 1 is this, 4 is this, and 5 would be this. But in G major, 1 is this, 4 is this, and 5 would be this. And F major, for example, 1, 4, and 5. So as you notice, we say 1, 4, and 5, but in reality we're using inversions because that would be the quickest way to get from one chord to another. And it's totally fine. In fact, most of the time in harmonization you are not tied to using a certain inversion unless it's very, very specific. In harmonizations, you can use inversions that are close by and that would allow you to make a fluid accompaniment, like as an example, we can look at the famous sonata by Mozart. So Mozart was using inversions. When you're looking at the exercises for harmonization, you need to figure out what would be your key. Are you in C major, G major, F major, or any other major or minor? So for that, you will look at the last note of your example. Since we're not going to use harmonization in minor keys, it's going to be very easy for you. You will look at the last note and that would pretty much mean that would be your major key. So if your last note is C, you're in C major, and your tonic, your 1 is this, your 4 is this, and your 5 or 5/7 is this. And if you happen to have G as your last note, then your 1 is going to be this, your 4 is going to be this, and your 5 is going to be this. Now, putting hands together, you're going to use the new chord every time you see the numbers. So you can play a block chord, or you can think of an accompaniment style. When you don't have the chords and you only have a melody line, you must make a choice. The main rule is that the notes of your melody have to match the notes of your chords. Also, there are a couple of shortcuts. In general, you will begin with 1 and end with 1. And also, in general, before 1 in the end, you will have a 5 or 5/7. So you could write those chords in right away. And then for the remaining chords, you need to make decisions. For example, if we try to harmonize Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So probably I'm in C major because I ended on C. Let's try if I will use C major chord at the beginning. Will it sound well? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now A is not going to work very well with this chord. My simplest solution for harmonization is always 1, 4, or 5. I could potentially use other chords from the same key, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I can pretty much resolve everything with 1, 4, and 5. Let's see. So A happens to be in this chord, in 4. And then G G is not in this chord anymore, so that means I will have to change my chord. So let's try again. Then I get F again. Nah, it's not gonna work very well, right? So I have my choice here or here. And since this is my harmonization, I get to decide what chord to use. As you notice that E was harmonized with 1 again, and C was harmonized with 1, because these notes actually, especially E does not appear in this chord or this chord. It can only be harmonized with 1. C can be harmonized with 1 or with 4, but it would be extremely unusual for us to finish a phrase with 4, so it would sound something like this. Potentially, but this would be not a very traditional way of harmonizing. Then we have the continuation of this melody. So I can go that works, and then again I can do 1